Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's Jim from Jimmy in the Wild. Today, we have the third of 3 videos of the High Plains Creek series. In today's video, I go from where I was fishing in part 2 and head downstream to fish pools in an ancient granite canyon. Like the flats I was fishing in part 2, this canyon is part of the same walk-in fishery that doesn't see a lot of fishing pressure. Hopefully the fishing action is as good or better than it was on the flats. The canyon is a very primitive landscape without any established trails. Also, the canyon is very overgrown and has a lot of fallen trees. It's going to be a tough hike. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Well, it's time to get out in the canyon and see what it's got in store for us. We're going to be using pretty much the same stuff that I always use for trout, especially in these High Plains creeks. I've got an assortment of these Panther Martins, but my favorite is this number 6 gold. So here's some more of what I've got to use today. We've got flies. Now, I didn't bring a fly pole. You can still fish most of these flies with the spinning reel that I've got. Mostly nymphs, stoneflies, things like that. Things that are heavy, things that you can cast out there and you don't have to have a heavy fly line to get them out. Geez, right when it hit the water I caught a fish. Like, for a second I thought it was stuck on something. It was a fish. Pretty. Alright, there he is. Pretty little male brook trout. It's probably 7 inches, not very big. Get it back in the water. Like I said earlier, this canyon is going to be a tough hike, especially since I'm trying to stay dry. There's that little brookie. There's a rainbow. Little tiny guy. Here he is. Cute little rainbow. Right there. That is one pretty fish. Put it back in the water. That's a nice rookie. Well, not huge, but he sure is pretty. He's an older one. He's small. He's been in this part of the creek most of his life, most likely. So here he is. That is one beautiful little fish. Well, there's just tons of these in here today. Of course, getting it back into the water as quick as possible is what you need to do. In this segment, I snagged my lure on a willow tree and it broke off and fell in the creek. And then, all of a sudden, you can see a fish splash around. The fish actually ended up grabbing the lure as it fell into the water. I've slowed it down to half speed and zoomed in a bit so you can see it. I'm pretty sure the fish ended up spitting the lure a short time later. So if you're trying to stay dry, crossing the creek is very challenging. In this particular creek, crossing on a log is much better than crossing on stepping stones. That's because most of the rocks in this canyon have been polished to a very slippery finish. And almost any clean and dry rubber boot sole will slip on the dry rock surfaces. Alright. And let's get over on the trail, because I know there's one right there. See how covered up it is. The old trail is looking a little old, but fishing opportunity right here. Extremely awesome. This place is just full of fish. If you look down there, there's some big ones too. The number of fish in this pool was just crazy. So before I even fished the pool, I submerged the GoPro on a long pole to try and show what was down there. However, the water was just a bit too cloudy to get the full effect. I was surprised that the GoPro didn't scare the fish off completely.
It's going to be a rush. Fish are going to rush in on this lure. This, I think, oh, got one. Get off. Maybe instead of using the Panther, I'll use a fly. It's a perfect opportunity to show what a bead head does. Let's put this totally absurd fly on here. Here it is. It's kind of like a clouser head with a couple little legs. The instant it hits the water, I'll have a fish. Yeah, maybe not. Guess it took a second. But there he is. A little brookie. Is that a bow? A rainbow. There we go. A little fat rainbow. There he is. Look at that fish. That is one pretty little rainbow. Pretty rainbow. We're going to get him back in the water. He's got a funky mouth. He's been caught before. There we go. A little brookie. A little fatty. Another male. Oh wow, we got him in the tail. There he is. Caught him in the tail. I have no idea how. Alright, another brookie. Probably sit here and do this and catch 50 fish. I'm trying to catch a larger fish, but I'm catching these little guys. And another fly. This one is much more believable. Kind of looks like a big stonefly or a giant spider. There's another brookie. There he is. That is one pretty fish. Better get him back in the water. That is a seriously energetic fish. Oh, he caught himself underneath. No wonder. Here's another fish. I caught this guy. Somehow he hooked himself in the stomach.
I fished this pool for about an hour and probably caught more than 20 small to medium trout. I moved downstream to try and catch something a little bit bigger.
What do we get? Brookie. There he is. That is a pretty fish. Oh yeah, big old fatty. There he is.
Like I said earlier, using stepping stones in this creek is a very bad idea. I should have taken my own advice. Oh well, so much for trying to stay dry all day. It definitely could have been much worse. I was good up until this point, but at least I wasn't hurt.
You'd think a bigger fish would be in there. Just this little guy. There he is, little male brookie. Help this guy get upstream. It's so small. Another one. Another small guy. 6 inches, maybe 7 inches. Here's the first snake of the day. It's just a garter snake.
He was also the only snake of the day.
And a little guy. Here we go, back up the hill and back to the truck. Gotta keep the bug stuff on until we get to the truck. Looks ridiculous, but this stuff works.
Well, thank you for joining me on this adventure. If you liked the video, please smash the thumbs up button. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss upcoming awesome content. Oh yeah, Here's a little spare drone footage if you like that kind of stuff. See you later!